On this beautiful, beautiful afternoon. Hi, everybody. My name is Phil Ginsberg. I'm the general manager of your San Francisco Recreation and Parks Department. I'm so thrilled to be here with all of you and our honored guests. We have our mayor, our assemblyman, Supervisor Mandelman, our new assessor. We have Commissioners Hallisey and Jupiter Jones. And so to all of the honored and elected guests, we have a ribbon cutting for all of you today that is right up your alley. Thank you. Thank you. This is actually the 9th ribbon cutting of Let's Play SF. This happened, Let's Play SF, maybe none of us remember where we were in 2012, but if you were a voter here, you passed a parks bond in 2012 that allowed a community of your peers, including some of our representatives on Prozac, who I'll introduce in a second, to identify the most needy playgrounds around the city for public and private investment. We're also joined today by Drew Becker, the CEO of the San Francisco Parks Alliance. Together, the Recreation and Park Department, the San Francisco Parks Alliance, and our commissioners and elected family here have worked together to make sure each of these 13 most deserving playgrounds is funded and neighborhoods are revitalized through a combination of play, of creativity, of connectivity. And if you look at this space, you can see the potential of this project. This project is also the beneficiary of something called the Open Space Acquisition Fund, which goes back to the 70s. The city was smart enough to buy this. This used to be a rail line. Many of you who live in the community know this. And look what we have been able to do with it. It's really quite special. This particular 1.7 million renovation includes something that is near and dear to my heart and to the hearts of so many children in San Francisco, a nature play area. Part of our San Francisco Children and Nature Initiative. The opportunity is to give every single child in San Francisco a nature-based experience every single day. And it's little projects like this that really make the difference. So I'm really very thrilled with that. We've also got a lot of ADA accessibility features in this project so that we can all get out and enjoy our parks and play. We've even got some green space down on that end of the alley for some dog walking. We've got exercise equipment. All kinds of fun stuff. And again, this project was a mix of funding sources from the Let's Play initiative, and we also have funding from the 2012 Community Opportunity Fund. And some of the Juri commenters are going to speak to that in a second. So let me just say a few thanks, and I'm going to turn it over to our mayor. First, to all of you for being patient. These projects take time. They don't happen overnight. And it seems like 2012 was a really, really, really long time ago. But in playground time, nah, it was like a blink of the eye. A special thanks to Dave Schweiguth, who leads the Juri commenters, along with Mary Shapanik. I think Dave is speaking on the program in a little bit, who wrote the Community Opportunity Fund application. And a special shout out to Dr. Michael Lindsay of Catherine Michaels School. I don't think Dr. Lindsay could be here today, but the school was very involved in the COF application and the design, and certainly they're going to enjoy the space. Quick shout outs to our partners. Again, the San Francisco Parks Alliance, we would not be able to do these projects or many projects in the city without the caring, generous support of the San Francisco Parks Alliance. You'll hear from Drew in a bit. The San Francisco Children and Nature Network, our city family from Public Works. I saw Jen Cooper here. I know that So Too is here. Jasmine Kaw, Claudia Rodriguez, Robert Mao, thank you, DPW. You guys are awesome. I see Rachel Gordon standing there in the background, I think. And everybody's got a mask on. I shouldn't be calling out people by their faces because I can't see them. Again, to our commission, Joe Hallisey and Annie Jupiter Jones, to Prozac, the Parks, Recreation, Open Space Advisory Committee, a committee of citizens that works with us to develop these spaces. I know present today, I see Stephen, I know Karen Rhodes is here, I know Stephen DuPont Kalani is here. Thank you for your presence. To my own staff for their hard work. Lisa Branston is here. She's been our captain of Let's Play SF. Thank you, Lisa. Oh, Nick Bellani, I see Nick here. Thank you, Nick. Michelle Pallavicini, who leads an amazing crew. Sean Hill, KB Justin, James Flagg, Robert McNeil. I know I'm going to forget somebody, but these are the people that so lovingly and so talentedly care for this space. So our commission president, Mark Buell, likes to say, victory has many parents. This is another victory with many, many, many parents. Thank you to the entire team of people that have worked on this. I am sure I will call out a few other people when I realize I've forgotten them. But in the interest of time, I'm going to turn it over to our mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor Booth.
Thank you. We want to just extend a heartfelt thank you to the people of this community especially. It was your work, your advocacy that made this project possible. People often ask me over the past year and a half, isn't it hard being mayor? Oh my God, we just went through a global pandemic. It's been tough. Yes, it's been tough. But being here today makes it worth it every single day, because I'm here with community. I'm here with people who care about San Francisco and who want to create these amazing opportunities for our children, for our neighbors. That's what this city is about. The same thing happened when this pandemic first hit our city. We all came together like never before. And yes, we are one of the densest cities in the country, which is why creating spaces like this are so important. But we also saw that despite a pandemic, a global pandemic, we saw one of the lowest death rates anywhere in the country. And we are seeing the highest vaccination rates anywhere in the country. So as San Franciscans, we should be proud. But I'm not surprised, because it's what we do best. When an opportunity presents itself, we don't see just a problem, we see a solution. And Juri Commons is a solution for the community. It created an old rail yard, a place that this community knew about for many, many years, used for many, many years, but had a vision to make it into something that can be extraordinary. And that's what you created. All the greenery, all the plants, all the play structures. And yes, the advocacy that it took to get it done was instrumental. Reaching out to apply for funding with the city, and you know how difficult the city can be, and how difficult it can to get funding from the city as well. So you made this happen, and I really want to thank also not just the community, but the Parks Alliance for always stepping in with that last bit of cash that we needed to get this project over the finish line. It really does take a village to make incredible things happen in San Francisco, and the village of Juri Commons have been instrumental in making this happen, not just for the community around us, but for the entire city. This is an amazing accomplishment, one that we should be proud of, and one that is going to take us to the next level on our road for economic recovery. We know also that during this pandemic, our parks were just everything for us. Our open space and parks, they brought us closer together. I don't know about you, but I didn't know a lot of my neighbors. And during this pandemic, going outside, meeting folks, walking around, going to parks, you get to know people that you probably never even knew lived in your neighborhood. That's what this Juri Commons will continue as we begin to open and recover and go back to our lives the way we knew it once before. This will still serve as an important gathering place for this community to make sure that our kids, our neighbors, we continue to know one another, support one another, and get through any challenge that comes our way. So thank you all so much for being here today. And with that, I'd like to introduce Assemblymember David Chu, who, when I served with he and Scott Wiener on the Board of Supervisors, they were incredible parks champion, and they have taken that fight to Sacramento for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, Assemblymember David Chu.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, particularly for your leadership during these times. So I'm a former musician, and I usually don't verbalize the songs that are going through my head, but I have to at this very moment. The song going through my head is the one that starts with, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood." I'm going to stop right there. But it truly is a beautiful day here in this very spot. You know, the mayor has thanked so many folks from her perspective as our incredible leader of our city, and I'm going to just thank so many of you as a parent. As someone who has a ritual with my 5-year-old son every weekend of trying to find a new park to play in. And what you have created here is not only going to be our destination this coming weekend, but you have given not just kids a slide to slide on, adults something to play on, but just another place for us to bring community together. When I'm in Sacramento, my colleagues ask me, hey, Chu, you represent San Francisco. San Francisco seems to have a lot. Why are you such a park advocate? And I explain to folks that in our amazing city, 7 years ago when I was first elected to the legislature, I would tell people about the fact that in Chinatown, you've got Chinese immigrant kids who are kicking soccer balls on the top of public housing projects. And a few blocks away in the Mission, you've got Latino immigrant kids kicking those same soccer balls down alleyways. And a few miles away, I also represent the Bayview, where you have African American kids who are from time to time kicking balls on top of formerly toxic, contaminated sites. This is why we do the work that we do, because we need to make sure that our next generation of kids have the opportunities that every child should. The opportunity to play, to thrive, to learn how to be in community with each other, to grow strong, and to grow to become the next mayor of this city. And so I just want to thank all of you who are part of this amazing community, this village, whether you're from the public sector and from Rec and Park and with the commission, whether you're a worker with Rec and Park, whether you're from the private sector having helped to construct this spot, whether you're from the nonprofit sector with your philanthropy and your vision. It takes all of you coming together. But in particular, I want to just ask for a show of hands. How many of you are Juri commoners? Raise your hand. You guys are the ones who really made it happen. Let's give it up for them. Thank you so, so very much. And with that, it's my honor to introduce someone who represents this intersection of the Mission and Noe Valley, someone who's been fighting for parks from day one, my good friend, Supervisor Raphael Manaman.
Thank you, Assemblymember Chu. There are a lot of politicians to speak today, so I will try to be brief, but I do want to say three big thank yous. The first is to Juri commoners and the neighbors. This really was a project that came out of the community. I think I remember back several years, folks in the neighborhood, Dave and others, were taking care of this park even in its prior iteration. And the vision for what this park could become came out of the community. The grant applications were done by community. And even up until the very end in figuring out that this park needed garbage cans, goddammit, the neighbors stepped forward and emailed us, and we forwarded emails to Rec Park, and Rec Park figured out that, yeah, we need some garbage cans. So tremendous thanks, but also tremendous thanks to Rec and Park for the for both providing joy during the pandemic, for finding ways to keep us safe. I remember Phil Ginsburg put in the dots around in Dolores Park in those early days when we were first thinking about social distancing, and just delivering a service that I think San Franciscans love. Consistently, our controllers' studies show that people love our parks and are grateful for the management that they are getting, and they really love it when we have beautiful new or renewed parks like this. And then lastly, to the Parks Alliance, to Drew and to the Alliance, I want to thank them for their partnership with Rec Park and also for the work they do in District 8. A few weeks ago, we were doing a movie night at Dolores Park, which was fantastic and lovely and delightful. But the mayor and I were out for a ribbon cutting for Christopher Park Playground just a few months ago. I was out for a greenway opening in Glen Park. There's a lot of great work happening through that partnership. So as a neighbor, I live like a block away and am very grateful to have this. As a supervisor, I'm grateful for it, and as a San Franciscan. And with that, speaking of people who helped get us through the pandemic, the former head of the Office of Economic and Workforce Development and now our assessor recorder, Joaquin Torres.
Thank you so much, Supervisor. It's very much a pleasure to be with everyone today, especially when you get a chance to step away from all of the valuations you have to do as being your assessor recorder here in San Francisco. But most importantly, I wanted to say thank you to Dave, to Mary for your leadership in making this happen, ensuring that we could get this work done and these investments in place. I know that how important it is to be able to wake up in the morning and know that you have some greenfield equipment that you can do some exercise on. And I'm so happy to see it here in Juri Commons. And also, of course, to the Department of Recreation and Parks and all the work that you do to make sure that these spaces are open and healthy and safe for our communities all across this city, whether here at Juri Commons, in McLaren Park, or in Dolores Park, or all throughout special places, nooks and alleys where we can enjoy each other, breathe fresh air, be safe, be in community. I am so grateful to all of you. And of course, to the Parks Alliance, who has been doing this in so many places all around our city. It's so desperately, desperately needed for all of us of every age. And I'm so grateful to be here. And I'm so grateful for Drew Becker, the Executive Director of the Parks Alliance, and the continued work that he does to make this happen. And with that, Drew Becker.
Thanks, Joaquin. I sort of want to bottle that. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So happy to be here today in this amazing new space that was created by the neighbors, for the neighbors, and for this great community. This is part of our partnership with Rec and Park, the Let's Play SF initiative, where basically it's crowdsourcing for playgrounds that will be impacting about 20,000 children when all 13 playgrounds are open throughout the city in just a few short years. We've raised over $12 million for 13 playgrounds throughout the city. I want to thank our board and all of our donors for making that happen. You know, we are really lucky to live in San Francisco, a city that prioritizes parks. In the past year and a half, we've really realized how important they are to our life, and specifically playgrounds. If you remember back in the day, a year and a half ago when playgrounds were closed, kids couldn't play on them, and there was that outpouring of support to open our playgrounds, and I think it even reached the State House, actually. It was really, really amazing to see. And it's really, the community like you is what changes that, and you change this space with that tenacity as well. The San Francisco Parks Alliance is proud to support the Rec and Park Department and happy to support all of the amazing things that it does. It is by no real big issue that the Rec and Park Department is really one of the best departments in the city and county of San Francisco. Sorry, Joaquin, you'll get this. No, people love Rec and Park Department, and it's been investing in itself for the last decade under the leadership of Phil Ginsburg, and I just want to say thank you so much to him and what he's done for the Rec and Park Department. Phil, thank you. Investments like this and other community-led investments are the reason why, and this is really amazing. And I know that some people scoffed at this, but Time Out magazine called San Francisco the #1 city to live in the world. And it's because of great spaces like this all over our city. You're within a 10-minute walk of all public spaces, new playgrounds, new parks, new public spaces, alleys that have come alive. That is the San Francisco we know and the San Francisco that we're proud of. I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm proud that the Parks Alliance is a part of it. And I'm proud that the Rec and Park Department is a part of it. And I'm proud to be working for a great mayor like London Breed, making sure her vision is a reality. I want to give a big shout out to the Capital team from the Rec and Park Department who did this. It's under new leadership. Stacy, congratulations on that. And then Kara and Alex, great job on all the work that you do. To the Parks Alliance staff, Sarah and Susanna and team, thanks so much. We really appreciate being a part of it.
Hi, I'm Dave Schweisguth. I live around the corner on San Jose Avenue. I've led the Juri Commoners, as we call ourselves, since 2009, which literally means I buy the coffee. I'll stay in the thanks train, or maybe describe a few more parts of the thanks elephant. Number one, Laura Glatstein, who couldn't be here, who started the Juri Commoners in about 2004, and started the organization that led to the work that led to us all being here. Number two, in I think 2014, Eric Anderson, who was the Park Services Manager of this area at the time, got me to write a grant for the Community Opportunity Fund, which was unsuccessful. And a couple of years later, Mary Sapanek, who is right there in the purple mask, wrote the grant that succeeded, and that's why we're all here today. So, super thank you to Mary. And then number 3, I want to thank smart folks at Rec and Parks that I don't think I've met or fully understand how that all works, but who in addition to managed to assemble, along with the Community Opportunity Fund grant, money from the Let's Play Initiative and also from the Eastern Neighborhoods Fund, which turned it into a much more substantial project and a complete renovation, and that's why the whole park is in great shape now. So what that got us, I just want to point out a couple things that I personally am super happy about. Anyone who lived in the area, used the old park, remembers what it was like. The path was the craters of the moon. You couldn't get through here if you had to get through here with wheels. It's all great now, right? So everyone can get through here safely and comfortably and use the whole park. And number 2, we have a new irrigation system, and that means that the things that we plant are going to stay alive for a little while. So as a volunteer, of course, I am super happy about that. One more thing. If for everyone who is here, who's interested, this is not an end. This is the beginning of the next step. Everyone here who is interested in helping keep this park in the lovely shape that it is in today, either find me before I go or Google Meetup Juri Commoners, and you'll find us. We organize through a meetup group, and join the group, and we'll start coming and cleaning up and keeping it in good shape. Okay, thanks all.
All right.
I don't know who's next.
So now we get to the business of this thing, and we cut a ribbon. So. And
Are we? Oh wait! Don't put your hand down there. Put it up here because it'll smack. Okay, we ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome.